Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. We're glad that you're here. And if this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joyce House, presented in partnership with our friends at Cardon and Associates. We're here with you each and every week to talk about all things caregiver and giving, and also just to have some fun, too. And we start out Noah Taylor here,
Hello.
our producer extraordinaire, and the second voice that you're hearing. We start out by saying, Tina McIntosh, we're thinking about you and missing you.
We miss you.
She's not here with us today, but she had a little viral thing. Am I allowed to tell that?
I think that sounds okay.
Okay.
As long as we don't say any more details than that, right?
Right. I think she drank from the water fountain out at the track.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
No.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding 100%. No, she's not feeling real great today, so we wish her the best and telling her, and also letting her know that we're missing her a lot. But anyway, Noah is here, and we are going to carry on. And you've got some great guests lined up for us today.
It's going to be a very exciting day. We do have some very meaningful guests today. But before we start that, we've got a little bit of a heavier topic to focus on.
Okay,
here.
well, all right.
So
Can't stop you.
you
Let's go.
You cannot stop me.
Are you okay, by the way?
I'm doing really well.
Good.
How are you?
What's the most fun thing you've done in the last 48 hours?
In the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question.
Was there something fun in the last 48 hours?
I have been playing a lot of video games, specifically basketball, because of the Pacers. I mean,
Because of the Pacers.
Oh, wow. So exciting. What an incredible
much
time to
fun.
be a sports fan in Indiana.
I know it.
Oh, my
I know it. And I am ready for a little merchandise, and it's hard to get your hands on it right now. But
it is.
as we continue on, absolutely, all of us here in Indiana have a lot to be proud of, for sure. Very exciting time. 25 years, probably. How old are you?
I'm 25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
So when you were born was the last time that we saw something like this for our Indiana Pacers. So very cool. But I do know that there's an important topic that you want to talk about.
Yeah, it is really important. So colon cancer has actually been thought of something that has mostly affected older adults, but cases in people under 50, under 45 are rising by about 2.4% every year. And that is a lot of people.
Is this because of our diets?
I think that is definitely a part of it. Access to healthcare is also a big issue. But I think maybe what personalizes this for people is the actor Chadwick Boseman. He played Black Panther, a lot of really, really wonderful roles, but he's a great actor. And he actually passed away at just age 43 from a battle
So
with
young.
colon cancer. Yeah, it's so young and
I think there was a time, colon cancer, the actual test itself, something that people just don't want to.
it's scary.
It's a scary test. For having that people just, they never ever say anything good about it, but it's life-saving.
It really is.
And I think that they have continued to move that time of when you're supposed to actually get the test, maybe getting it younger and younger because of the statistics you were just talking about.
I think now they recommend if you're 45 or older, you should ask about getting screened. Even if you don't feel bad, you should really be taking those precautionary measures. But it's now expected colon cancer is to become the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in people in their 20s to 40s by the year 2030. So it really is becoming very, very prevalent for a lot of the younger adults in our society.
Yeah, absolutely. And for caregivers, early signs of colon cancer, like the changes in bowel habits that we were talking about, or fatigue, or unexpected weight loss, sometimes those are missed or brushed off. You just don't notice it, especially as a caregiver. You're with that person every single day and every single moment, and maybe it's something you don't see.
Yeah, you don't notice the small changes.
Yeah. The earlier it's caught, the more treatable it is. That is the news. That is truly the news.
Absolutely. I mean, once you get to stage 4, it's definitely a lot harder to be able to treat those things, like colon cancer. So please, go ahead and get screened. We'll offer some places on our Facebook that you can get some more resources about that. 13% of all colon cancer diagnoses are now in people under 50. That is a very large amount of young adults. I even just heard
Under 50.
Under 50. This is people who are not not normally affected by this type of cancer. And what recently brought this into my eyes was I saw somebody who was 25 years old on TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
Had just recently passed away from colon cancer.
I wonder if that's one that is also perhaps in your genes.
I do think,
you know what I mean?
I do think that some people are a little bit
hereditary.
more, a little bit more prone to it because of their family. And every day now, 56 new cases are being diagnosed in people 45 and younger. That's every single day people are being diagnosed.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's what my father died of. That was the official word. It was colon cancer. And that was, for him at 88 years old, it's not treatable anymore, and it's stage 4. So it's a sad diagnosis when it is in stage 4. But again, it's something totally detected just at an earlier age when you're supposed to, if the doctor says or you think they've got one of these symptoms we mentioned, certainly is important.
Yeah, so please go get screened. Obviously the earlier it's caught, the more treatable it is.
Yep.
I think what's really important for caregivers is obviously talk to your doctors. If you notice any changes, especially maybe bleeding, bloating, or consistent fatigue, reach out to your doctor about your loved one. Know your family history. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. And most importantly, if you're 45 or older, ask about getting screened, even if you feel okay. Colonoscopy is very scary, but it is life-saving.
Absolutely. All right, this is Caregiver Crossing. We just want to mention the longest day, June 20th. That is a big day for Alzheimer's foundations and organizations, and just kids putting up lemonade stands for everybody because it is the longest day. And again, that's June 20th. So check around, and if you are having one of those fundraisers or a part of one of those fundraisers for the Alzheimer's Association, please let us know so we can get the word out for you.
Reach out to us. We'd love to post it on our social media. We'd love to
talk about it
on the show here. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon & Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828. or by visiting joycehouse.org today. And you can find past episodes of the show at joycehouse.org, and be sure to like and follow us on Facebook. All right, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Glad that you are here. I'm Terry Stacy along with Noah Taylor.
Hello.
Tina Bina is out today, and we're thinking about you, Tina, and hope you feel better soon. We're joined today by somebody who truly understands what it means to walk the caregiving journey. Her name is Ellen Gullett, and she's the coordinator of engagement at Second Presbyterian Church here in the city. And more than that, she's a caregiver at heart, after walking alongside her mom through a season of care. And we're going to talk to her about that journey too. So let's just get into it. She started this group, and let's start from thank you for being here, Ellen.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Ellen and she reminded me that we go back a bit into several other type of PR jobs that she had, marketing jobs, and how she ended up at Second Presbyterian. And we said you walked this journey with your mom.
Yes.
So you started the job at Second Presbyterian before or during your mom's journey, and what was she diagnosed with?
Yeah, I started during my mom's journey. I had been a caregiver in some way for my mom for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
For the first 15 of those years, she lived a very full and independent life, and I was really just another set of ears to go to doctor's appointments and help. But then somewhere along the way, things became more complicated. So yeah, I'm a longtime member of Second Presbyterian, but I've only been on staff for about 2.5 years. And when I joined the staff, or when I was interviewing for my job even, I said to them, I think I would love to do this job and this work, but I need you to know that I help care for my mom. She's in assisted living, but I'm the only family member here, and so I'm her person. And there will be times when I have to go to doctor's appointments. There will be times where she just needs me for different things. And the response that I received was, "That's great. We want you to take care of your mom or anyone in your family for that matter."
So many others have said to us that that's a fear of saying that out loud when you're either working or you are trying to get a new job. The fear of what that means to an employer, and that's a scary thing to do. But you got to do what you just did.
Yeah.
Right? No surprises. This is who I am,
Yeah.
and this is what I have to deal with, what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I said my mom and I are a package deal at this point in our lives, and so as long as I can have that flexibility, and they just kept telling me over and over, "You're doing what you should be doing. That's your first priority always." And so I've been really grateful for that and a place to work.
6 months go by.
6 months go by, and my mom, she died 6 months after I started working there. Her final 6 weeks of life, she was in hospice. And, I kept checking in every day and saying, "Okay, this is what I can do today, and this is what I can get done tomorrow." And they just kept saying, "Take care of your mom and don't worry about us." And at some point I said, "Do you need me to apply for FMLA?" And they said, "We'll see, but just keep taking care of your mom." So they gave me so much grace, and also provided outreach to my mother. I mean, the pastor who I worked alongside came to visit my mother she was not a member of the church, and they came to visit her. And so they just were so good to me during that time.
Yeah.
And then after my mom passed, and, the time that I needed to grieve. So I felt like I just was really led to be in that job, in that place. It was exactly where I needed to be able to care for her in the way that I really wanted to care for her.
Noah, I wanted to go with the next question, but you talk now.
I know.
'Cause I've taken
You're
over.
feeling everything now.
Well, I have so many
Yeah.
questions too, and the group in particular.
Yeah,
we want to talk
absolutely.
about that for sure,
So-
that she's created.
We can tell that you have incorporated this beautiful journey into your professional life. I'd love to just hear a little bit about your role at Second Presbyterian and the new caregiver support
Yeah.
group you started.
Yeah, so my role is coordinator of engagement. So congregational engagement, which includes everything from someone's first visit to the church, and that might be on a Sunday morning, or it may be because you came to volunteer in our food pantry. But whatever way brought you there, I'm probably going to get to know you. And then I also help folks who are, on their faith journey and decide maybe they want to become a member. or just plug in different ways as they're trying to figure out next steps in their faith journey. Sometimes it's long-term members who say, I need a new place to get connected. I'm looking for something different. So it's just, congregational engagement and hospitality, and that can look a lot of different ways. So
like dating groups.
Like dating groups. We don't
singles.
We don't have one of
Do you have
those
any groups for the singles.
But you're not the first person who's asked me that.
I'm starting to see more of those pop up within the churches.
Love is in the air.
Yeah, no, there are churches who
having
have
trouble finding somebody that has your passion for this or that and his faith. Anyway, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
It's a real thing. We haven't started one of those yet. But so while this caregiving support group does fit into the nature of my work, I really kind of came at it really as a member and a volunteer from that mindset that I was someone who had walked a very specific journey, and I had something that I could offer others. And so, I went to my supervisor, and then we talked to our associate pastor for care about this idea. And everyone was really excited. Second Presbyterian has numerous support groups in place, but they didn't have one exactly like this, which is caring for aging parents. And so that's how we got started.
Oh, that was going to be my next question: is what kinds of caregiving roles are represented? So it sounds like a lot of people who are caring for their aging parents, maybe taking care of their own children at the same time.
Yes.
Are there any other types of maybe diagnoses that you see, or any kind of other roles of caregiver?
The majority of people who come are folks who are like I was, the sandwich generation. We're taking care of children and also taking care now of our parents. But we have had folks come to the group who maybe are the caregiver for their adult sibling. Or we've even had one or two people come, they were married to were married to spouses who are significantly older than them. And so, something can happen in a heartbeat where their role as the spouse quickly becomes one of a caregiver. And so we've had those folks too. So it can be anything. And in terms of diagnoses, again, all across the board. And families who are dealing with dementia, there's a whole another level of complications that come with that. But we do have people who have family members with dementia in the group. We have people whose parent just has, some sort of physical diagnoses. Some people are still living independently. Some are in assisted living. It covers the gamut.
We're going to get to a break here in just a second. Was it hard to get them to come?
The first couple meetings were pretty slim in attendance, but word started getting out. And so now we have, I would say we average around 6 to 10 each month.
That's great.
And it's not always the same people.
Yeah.
I find that people dip in and dip out.
People are right. They dip in, dip out, depending on what's happening in their life at that moment. But people are coming.
Yes.
And I think years ago, people would not have come. It just was kind of something that was, this is what I'm doing. And this is, and felt very isolated. And I hope more and more, and that is still a feeling, isolation, when you're a caregiver. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping with shows like this and others, and so much that it has become a topic that is actually a headline oftentimes, that people are like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And they take that step and they join a group, or they become active on social media, so many of them in different chat rooms and Facebook pages. I know we got to go. Yes. And don't go anywhere, though. Will you stick around for a minute?
Sure thing.
Okay, more with Ellen Gullett, coordinator of engagement at Second Presbyterian Church.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon & Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 4 decades of senior living experience, Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. All right, stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's join, MOCHI.com with promo code AUDIO40.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
All right, welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I'm your producer, Noah Taylor, joined by our extra special host.
Hi.
And today we are missing Tina. We're missing Tina today. She's out with a little viral infection, but she'll be back with us shortly. We're so excited that Ellen is sticking with us for this next segment. Ellen is the coordinator of engagement at Second Presbyterian Church and is a caregiver at heart. She's recently started a caregiver support group. So you've been a caregiver yourself. How has that shaped the way you have spoke with other caregivers in your support group?
I just have so much appreciation for anyone who's a caregiver. So whether they're caring for an aging parent or a child or a sibling or a friend, it's difficult work. It's physically taxing. It can be mentally taxing. It's emotionally taxing. And it's often thankless work. So I think more than anything, I'm just so appreciative of people who have the heart and the willingness to do it.
What do you think that caregivers need to hear more often, whether from professionals or whether that's from family or their own inner voice even? Is that a weird question?
Yeah, no, not at all. I think, again, affirmation of how hard it is. So I think when a caregiver can hear from the professional, the medical professional, that what they're doing is hard work and you're doing a good job. I mean, I know from my own, self-talk that happens inside your head, you're often, oh, I'm not doing enough, or, oh, I didn't do that as well as I could have, or I should have done it differently. So just the acknowledgement that you're doing the best you can and it's hard work. And so I think that's really helpful.
I think you probably, when you are a caregiver, there's really nobody to tell you you're doing a good job. There really isn't.
No,
so you really have to feed that to yourself, unless you are part of a support group, and that's where you get that.
Yeah.
That okay.
Yeah, and that's
I'm okay.
People who've come to the group have commented like, "Gosh, before this, I felt like I was doing it all wrong, or I just didn't realize how many other people are going through it like me." And so I think it's been really helpful to the people that have attended.
Oh, I'm sure.
We really love to make sure that's emphasized for our caregivers. We always say on here, caregivers just want to be seen. They just want to be seen and appreciated. So I think that's really, really meaningful.
Yeah.
I think on the flip side of that, though, I'm curious if during your caregiver journey or in leading this support group, was there ever something that a well-meaning person said to you that just didn't help?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I will say this. There is a Duke University professor and author who writes a lot about this subject. Her name is Kate Bowler, and she herself was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer at the age of 35.
We were just talking about that.
That was our intro today. We were talking about How
young.
people under the age of 45 are
okay.
increasingly
Oh.
being diagnosed with colon
Okay.
cancer.
Well, this is a great tie-in.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. But this is-
Yeah.
but Kate has written a lot about, what you say and what you don't say to someone going through something difficult. And she's written several books of blessings for the hard things in life. And a lot of them are about either being a patient or being a caregiver. And so I have found her writing really meaningful, and I've shared it with people in the group. I often start or end our meetings with one of her blessings.
I like that. This group is a blessing. Was it easy? And I'm thinking about other churches, how this can spread.
Yeah.
Is this something in churches everywhere, and I just don't know it? These support groups for specifically caregivers.
I don't know, actually. I have to tell you and be honest, I really didn't do a lot of research to see
What was it? Okay,
but
right.
I just felt like this was something I could offer. I knew that the church where I attended and worked didn't have it. And it made a lot of sense for me to try to start it there. I think the important thing if you want to start a group like this is thinking about where can you go where there's an infrastructure in place. So a place for you to
Okay.
meet, and a place maybe that can help you with like the communications or the promotion of the group.
Getting the word out.
Getting the word out. And then, the other thing is organizations that kind of already have a built-in audience for you. So, that could be a hospital, it could be an assisted living facility, or a church, but a place where that you're probably already going to have some folks
Yeah.
attached who have a need
Yeah.
for that type of support.
I kind of love that you said you didn't do any research.
Yeah, you didn't really need
it's something
to.
that,
Yeah.
you knew that caregivers needed, and
Yeah.
you said, I'm going to make this happen and make sure that they're seen and supported.
Well, I always said, it's the group that I needed as a caregiver that I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, when I was a caregiver, I didn't have a ton of time to do research then either to see if there was
Right.
a group I could join. So, I think a lot of people find themselves in that boat,
Yeah.
like, gosh, I need something, but I don't have the time to find it.
What else did you need that you didn't have for other caregivers that are going through, this journey right now? What did you need that you didn't have?
Well, it takes a village, for sure. And in my case, I was the only family member that my mom had locally. I have one sibling, a sister, but she lives several states away. My dad was already deceased. So it was just us. But I relied on people. I relied on, my own immediate family. I relied on friends sometimes.
What would they do for you?
Like transportation, if I was going to meet my mom at a doctor's appointment, if I was coming from work, and sometimes, I didn't have all the time I needed to go get her, go to the doctor's appointment, take her back to assisted living, and then get back to work.
Yeah.
But if I could have someone who could help me with either end of that transporting, that was really helpful. And sometimes the assisted living facility could help with that too, but not always.
Yeah.
And so I
I
could,
think that's a great question.
Yeah.
These are things that, that we can do to help you that we might not think about. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
yeah.
That you might need. I would think about meals and those other things,
Yeah.
but not transportation, but
Yeah.
you needed it.
That can be really helpful.
That can be helpful.
Sometimes
it.
if I was going to be out of town, maybe and I needed some respite too here and there.
Right.
But I would arrange for someone to go visit my mom just to make sure she had at least one
Yeah.
social interaction happening while I was gone.
Good.
Yeah.
Ellen Gullett is with us, coordinator of engagement in Second Presbyterian Church, and she has created a caregiver support group within the church. And it is it's great to have you here because you also have gone through that journey.
Yes.
Anything else you want listeners to know before we let you go? What do we got? About a minute
We
left?
got a
you
little
think?
bit left.
A little bit, about a minute left.
I think I'd like to ask, what would you say to somebody right now who feels like they're barely keeping their head above the water? Any caregiver who might be
Yeah.
struggling a little bit,
Well,
listening right now.
I think that's a common feeling to feel. And, we talk about self-care, and self-care gets thrown around a lot, but it really is important. And so, self-care can sometimes be as simple as some breathing exercises and some meditation, or it can be some physical exercise. And if you have the ability, certainly travel or time away. But it's like the flight attendants say, you can't put on someone else's oxygen mask until you put your own oxygen mask on.
It's such a good metaphor.
And
Yeah.
my mom would sometimes, she would get worried at the end of her life, when I was gone, that something would happen to her while she was gone. And I would just remind her, Mom, I've got to do this for myself. I can't be on my A game for you if I don't take a little time for myself. And, so that's how we would work through it.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thank you so much, Ellen. And thank you,
Terrific.
Cardon, as well, for connecting us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Can I tell you when our group meets?
I was just going to say, yes, please. That's
Please tell us when they are and how can people get in contact as well.
Yeah, so we meet at Second Presbyterian Church, which is at 7700 North Meridian on the second Monday of the month at 6:30 p.m. I always offer a Zoom link because a lot of times people can't get to us for various reasons. So we have folks on Zoom as well as in the room. And you can get more information by calling the church at 317-253-6461.
Thank you again, Ellen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit joycehouse.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and much, much more. That website again is joycehouse.org. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Well, hello. Hello to you and you and you and you. It's me, Terry. Hi, welcome to Caregiver Crossing. Thank you all so much for being here. If this is your first time joining us, and I'll introduce who us is in just a minute. Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joyce House and presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates.
Woo!
We are right here with you each and every week to talk about all things caregiving. And we, again, Noah Taylor is here. He produces this show, and he's also one of the voices that you hear on the show.
Hello.
Hello, Noah.
Hey.
Hello, Noah.
Hello, Terry.
Guess who's not here, Noah?
Who's not here today?
It's the lady to my right.
Oh.
The founder of Joyce House, Tina McIntosh.
Where is she today?
She's not well. Not feeling well.
Not feeling great.
She'll be back. She'll be back, though. She's tough. She is one of the toughest, I would tell you, one of the toughest individuals, man or women, I have ever met.
I was just talking about that to one of our guests. Tina is a fighter. She's a warrior.
I'm not kidding you.
One of the most resilient people I have ever met, physically, emotionally.
Yeah.
Here at Joy's house. I mean, she's just
nobody like her.
An incredible. Yeah.
This young woman is, even at this moment, is fighting for you, caregivers. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding you. Behind the scenes, you don't even know.
Even while sick.
Even while she's sick. But, and speaking of sick, it's Men's Health Month.
It is.
June is Men's Health Month, right?
It is. It is a very important time to spotlight the unique health challenges that men face. This year's theme is closing the empathy gap.
What does that mean?
This is to encourage us, everybody, to bridge the divide in understanding and supporting men's health needs. With Father's Day here this month, it's an ideal moment to check in on your dads, on your grandpas, on your uncles, and any brothers you might have in your lives.
So closing the empathy gap. From here's what I've learned over the years as a host. Men do not do what they need to do when it comes to health. They just don't.
It's just so true. I mean, I think
very quiet.
I mean,
very quiet about how they feel. I don't think they pay much attention to mental health like they should.
Yeah, absolutely. And
we'll
talk
does, really, when you think about it.
We've got so much to worry about.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about ourselves. I'll say for myself personally, this really touches me because when my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, and I think this is true for a lot of men in that age range, don't want their families to worry. They don't want their friends to worry about them. I think they're in their minds, you're the father of the family. Like, you need to be in control, take charge. You have to be there for your loved ones no matter what. But when he received that diagnosis, and I think I've talked about this on the air before, he didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell anybody. My family were the only people that knew that he had lung cancer, and people didn't even know that he was sick until after the service. And many of his close friends didn't even know that he had this diagnosis. So I think we can do a lot for a lot for men who are in that place and feel like they can't share.
Do you think you have good friends?
Absolutely.
Like a very, very good friend.
Yeah.
I was reading the other day that men just don't have good friends, especially as they age. They just don't keep good friend, meaning you're still going to keep stuff close to your heart. You may have a good friend, but you're just not there in sharing. And I'm not saying Noah. I'm just saying men in general. There is a relationship where you may get together and you may do some stuff. David will go out, my husband. He'll go out and he'll be with his buddies. And I talk about this because this is all includes mental health as well. And I'll say, he'll say, such and such did such and such. And I'll say, well, did you ask him why? And he said, well, no.
No, we didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it. Okay. Well, you just spent 4 hours golfing. What'd you talk about? Nothing.
I don't know. Sports.
Little sports. There just doesn't have that kind of thing that sometimes females do. I don't know, but that's what I read. That's what I've heard, and I can only assume because my husband doesn't tell me that you all talked about anything when you go to a lunch.
I'm in that same boat. I'll be telling my girlfriend Maya about something, and then she'll ask a question like, "Why this?" I'm like,
I didn't
that
ask.
might have been important to ask. Yeah.
I didn't think. Well, okay. It just is instilled in him, and I can only go by that. But this caring, also sharing about how much you care for another male. And again, I'm talking about the mental health. There's a viral sensation, I guess, that's been going around, and it's about guys calling their best friends and telling them to have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
I saw this
night.
on TikTok.
Just wanted to wish you good night.
It's so sweet.
And it's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sweetest thing. I mean, I don't even think females do that, but it was touching. And I know it's just been a joke, but it was kind of sweet.
It is. It's so nice to
see men
hear.
calling other men and saying,
Yeah.
I just wanted to wish you good night.
It's just nice to know that somebody's thinking about you.
But there are some real hard, fast facts when it comes to men's health, Noah.
Men do have a higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. This might be because men are statistically less likely to seek medical care or discuss mental health concerns with their loved ones or even with a provider. Another fact we have here, which is very important for this mental health aspect, is suicide rates among men are significantly higher.
Yeah.
And this really, really highlights the need for mental health support for our aging adult men, for our younger men.
Our veterans.
Yes, absolutely, our veterans.
Veterans, it's just heartbreaking.
Yes, we need to be able to share how we're feeling, and I really think that can save lives. Just us being more open with each other.
Yeah. You know what? If you're a caregiver or if you are, just a companion or a spouse, your part in this is really important too when it comes to men's health. Whether it's your dad or your husband or your significant other, you've got to make sure and encourage those routine health screenings and doctor's visits. You just have to promote healthy lifestyle choices yourself. I know for me, I try to get vegetables into the dinner every once in a while.
Always get some greens in there.
Sneaking in some better foods and whatnot. But just be actively engaging and encouraging the men in our lives, and we can help close that empathy gap. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I think we can. You can find us past episodes of the show at caregivercrossingradio.org, and be sure to like and follow us on Facebook. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, need help connecting with resources, or even have a question that you'd like to talk about on the air, please reach us at 317-254-0828, or you can directly email tina@joycehouse.org. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon & Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Until next time, take good care of each other.